Hello, my name is Miguel Quicho, and I'm a passionate filmmaker, and I'm here to show you how to shoot an action sequence. Now, before I was able to film all these scenes, we have to go all the way back to where I began. PG-13 for non-stop ninja action. This is when I was 12 years old, when I wanted to make a James Bond ripoff. Now let's fast forward to the fun parts. Yup, those were Nerf guns. Now let's talk about the basic stuff. Literary elements. We have our protagonist, and then our antagonist. Heroes versus villains, opposing forces, ready to rumble. I grew up watching action movies, and I love them, so that's why I decided to make some of my own. The movie that I made here was the most generic action movie you'll ever find. It's the basic storyline. Secret Agent Miguel Quicho versus the most wanted man of America. Now this isn't the best example I could show you guys of an action scene, but I always knew from the start that I had that action instinct in me. Now this is how I set up my action scene. There's always going to be a guy who's smaller and a guy who's bigger. One with vulnerabilities and one with ruthless aggression. Now the camera angles and fighting motives are completely subjective to you. You're the one who chooses who wins, who falls, who dies, and who has a better combat technique. Now I'm going to let you review this scene. Now this isn't too convincing, but I can assure you that you can learn from this, just like how I did. Here are the 3 essentials: choice of music or no music, cinematography, and lastly, the performers. These 3 tools push the emotional weight of the scene that grips your audience. Now obviously the score I used for this scene was too overdramatic, and sometimes you don't even need to use music. For example, watch this scene I made. Wow, time flew by, and you could clearly see my progress. My stylistic choice of using no music for this scene sets the visceral, awkward, and unconventional tone for the situation that these characters are in. When you over-rely on gratuitous music, you basically don't trust the scene that you made. Now I'm not saying music is a bad thing. It's definitely a good thing. It pushes the rhythm of the fight. So the use of music or no music conveys the personality of the scene. You choose, you decide. Now let's move on to composing cinematography. Even more progress has been made. Most action scenes are shot in handheld or shaky cam to capture the intensity of a scene. The camera has a life of its own as it jerks with the reactions of the characters. I get punched, the camera twitches. I did the exact opposite for this scene. I locked down my camera on a tripod to get steady shots. Both of these camera perspectives change the look and feel of the scene that you want. In my eyes, the shaky cam and handheld technique captures the raw and spontaneous nature of the action sequence, while the tripod and steady shot technique capture the efficient and streamlined nature of the action sequence. After you got those down, you could utilize wide shots, mediums and close-ups, over the shoulders, which help hide those pretended punches, and finally, experiment with those. You could combine tracking, zooming, panning, and tilting. The list goes on. And there you go. There's your badass action scene. Now you're probably wondering, how about the performers? Well, that is what's in front of the camera. If you're capable of fighting, then you could put that on screen. You can become James Bond. Well, that's it for now. This is the start of my new series, The Film Journals. And this is Film Journal number 1. See you next time.